Hi friends, today I wanted to discuss about the continuity of the environmental issues, that is water pollution and its control. So water pollution is any undesirable change in the physical, chemical and biological characteristics of water. We term it as water pollution and it has various pollutants. So some of the pollutants are the domestic sewage and industrial effluents. They are one of the important pollutant of water. A mere 0.1% impurities make domestic sewage unfit for human use. So whenever we are talking about sewage, it contains dissolved salts like nitrates, phosphates and other nutrients, and toxic metal ions and organic compounds. The amount of organic matter in water is estimated by B.O.D. B.O.D is nothing but biochemical oxygen demand or biological oxygen demand, they also call it as. So the definition of B.O.D is the amount of oxygen required to oxidize all the organic matter present in 1 liter of water. The changes takes place on discharge of sewage into the river. So the microorganisms involved in biodegradation of organic matter in the receiving water body, they consume a lot of oxygen. Hence there is a sharp decline in dissolved oxygen downstream from the point of discharge. Due to low dissolved oxygen, there is death of fish and other aquatic animals. So many times you might have come across in the news where thousands of fishes are found dead on the river body. It might be because of the pollutant like domestic sewage and the BOD increasing and dissolved oxygen getting reduced. So the fishes feel like out of water in water because of the less amount of dissolved oxygen in water. They are all going to die. So the presence of large amount of nutrients in water also causes excessive growth of planktons, that is free floating algae, and this is called as algal blooms. Algal bloom imparts distinct color to water bodies. It might be bluish green in color if it is blue green algae, or greenish in color if it is infected by green algae. The deterioration of water quality also leads to fish mortality, death of fishes. Some bloom forming algae are extremely toxic to human as well as animals. So the world's most problematic aquatic weed, called as water hyacinth or Eichhornia crassipes, belonging to family Planktonic, which is commonly called as Terror of Bengal. It was introduced to India for their beautiful flowers. The excessive growth of this Eichhornia causes, or water hyacinth causes, blockage in waterways. They grow abundantly in eutrophic water bodies. It causes imbalance in ecosystem and the dynamics of water body. So you can notice this beautiful flowers of this Eichhornia crassipes, and within this bulbous petiole you can notice this parenchyma tissue, which you might have studied in types of tissue, which makes the plant float. So they have the floating roots also, and they float on the surface of water. The sewage associated with diseases, the sewage from home and hospital contain pathogenic microbes. The discharge of such sewage without proper treatment, it causes diseases like dysentery, typhoid, jaundice, cholera, etc. They also contain toxic heavy metals, which are defined as elements with density of greater than 5 gram per centimeter cube, released from the toxic dense metals or heavy metals are released from petroleum industry, the paper manufacturing industry, metal extraction and processing industry, and chemical manufacturing industries. So the next step that you have to understand about is biomagnification. It is increase in concentration of the toxicant at successive trophic level is called as biological magnification or biomagnification. So you can notice from the phytoplanktons, the PCB concentration increases along the trophic level from 2.85, it goes to 1.56, and in the herring fish it goes to 6 to 45, and in the seabird birds the pollutant or the toxicant increases to 3200 to 3560, and in the porpoise which feeds on the seabirds, they are going to have 11400, or the herring fish directly is consumed by porpoise. Many such fishes, since it is consumed, So the accumulation of this toxic material will be more in the highest trophic level, that is porpoise or in seabird eggs. In porpoise it is the maximum 11,400 to 17,300. So the accumulated toxic passes to the next trophic level. This phenomenon is well known for the biomagnification of mercury and dichlorodiphenyl trichloroethane. So the biomagnification of DDT in aquatic food chain, you can see from the water, from the agricultural lands, the water which has this DDT, that is 0.003 parts per million, is consumed by the zooplankton, where it increases to 0.04 parts per million. Many zooplanktons which are consumed by small fish, they have in them 0.5 part per million, and many small fishes are consumed by large fish which has 2 parts per million of this toxicant, and this large fish are consumed by fish eating birds which will have 5 parts per million. So and you should also remember, many of these birds, when they lay egg, the eggshells are quite weak and they have and they break when they lay their eggs. They cannot even withstand the drop from the mother to the nest, the eggs, and the shells are so weak, calcareous shells, that they break, and that is because of biomagnification of DDT. So this is also one thing that we should understand about. So what is eutrophication? Is the process of nutrient enrichment of water, and the consequent loss of species diversity is referred to as eutrophication. So there are different types of eutrophication: natural eutrophication, cultural or accelerated eutrophication. The natural eutrophication or accumulation of nutrients is because of streams draining into the lake. They increase nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus. The increase in nutrient encourages growth of aquatic organisms. Over centuries, silt after rain and organic debris pile up the lake, and the lake grows shallower and warmer. Warm water organisms dominate over that thrive in a cold environment. Marsh plants take roots in the shallows and begin to fill in the original lake basin. Eventually, the lake gives way to large mass of floating plants, bog, finally converting into land. The cultural or accelerated eutrophication, the pollutants from man's activities, the anthropogenic activities like effluents from the industries and homes, they can radically accelerate the aging process. This phenomenon is called cultural or accelerated eutrophication. So the nitrogen and phosphorus which enters into the water, it changes the profile of the lake and it leads to eutrophication. The causes for eutrophication are sewage and agricultural and industrial waste. Prime contaminants are nitrates and phosphates. The effects of eutrophication are unsightly scum and unpleasant odors in water. Example, the Bellandur lakes and Vartur lakes in Bangalore is an example for this eutrophication, and it also robs the dissolved oxygen from water. Pollutant inflow kills the fishes. Decomposition of dead fishes causes further depletion of dissolved oxygen. Finally, a lake can literally choke to death. That is what it ends up into, the eutrophied lake. The next one that I wanted to discuss is thermal pollution. So heated wastewaters flowing out of electricity generating units like thermal power plants, they are let into lakes or rivers. The thermal wastewater eliminates the effects of this thermal pollution. It eliminates or reduces the number of organisms sensitive to high temperature. So thermal waters enhance the growth of plants and fish in extremely cold areas, but only after causing damage to the indigenous flora and fauna. So the case study of integrated wastewater treatment was done. So the wastewater, including sewage, can be treated in an integrated manner by utilizing a mix of artificial and natural process. It was done in the town of Arcata, which is in the northern coast of California. The treatment is done in 2 stages. One which involves the conventional sedimentation, filtering and chlorine treatment are given. The biologists developed a series of 6 connected marshes over 60 hectares of marshland. The appropriate plants, algae, fungi and bacteria were seeded into this area so that they can neutralize, absorb and assimilate the pollutant. The water flows through the marshes and it gets purified naturally. The marshes also constitute a sanctuary with high level of biodiversity in the form of fishes, animals and birds that now reside there. A citizens groups called as FOAM, that is Friends of the Arcata Marsh, is responsible for the upkeep and safeguarding of this project. So if you have liked this channel, you can subscribe for this channel and share it with your friends. In the next video we'll be discussing about ecological sanitation and solid waste. Thank you.